Hey guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name is Malcolm. We're on that road to 30,000 subscribers, so make sure to subscribe and support. But today we're supporting WrestleTalk, talking one of the top guys over there, Pete Quinnell. How are you, man?
Yeah, not doing too bad. How about you, man?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I mean, you have so much going on in like your world right now. I know it's over in the UK. It's probably really late because over here in America, it's like only the afternoon. But like, how's your day going so far? What have you been up to? How's it being like a giant wrestling creator in this space?
It's all go at the minute. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's obviously like wrestling news never stops. There's always something new coming up. Whether it be Adam Copeland going to AEW or like anything to do with CM Punk ever. That's always news. So yeah, it's really busy time. There's a lot of like new projects and stuff coming, which I'm constantly working on. So that's most of my days. Most of the time is just kind of brainstorming new ideas and working on new projects and stuff. So yeah.
Man, that sounds incredibly busy. I mean, you have to figure out what CM Punk's eating in the morning. You have to figure out what he's doing in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoon. You have to know if
I
he's like
know.
you can talk to a wrestler at that point that day. So like, it sounds hard.
Has he eaten a muffin today? It's stuff we need to know.
I've
Like,
actually been to the same place where he got those muffins from. It's a lovely place. Was
are they good?
They
That
actually
we need
are
to know
really
that.
good. What was crazy is that like when I went there, he had just went in maybe like 3 hours before I got in there. I was like, wow, I just missed him. He probably went to get more muffins. It's crazy. But dude, I mean, like, let's talk about like WrestleTalk a little bit more. I mean, like, it's such a massive platform. Like, what goes into like, being like a WrestleTalk creative? Obviously, you talk about like, writing out ideas and whatnot, but what goes into like a real day to day for like everyone that works for WrestleTalk?
Most days are very different, which is always a good thing for me because no one day ever feels the same as another day that we ever work. For most stuff for the main like WrestleTalk channel that we do, the primary thing is we do a news video every day. So that'll involve getting up, and I normally start work at around 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning, gathering news stories, seeing what's happened overnight because all the stuff happens while we're sleeping because America. So we get up in the morning, check all the stories, see what's going on. Then we get up, write a script, record that, send it to editor, get that edited for 1 p.m. and get that out. And then the rest of the day is spent just checking on the other stuff that we work on because we've got all the other podcasts and reviews and all the other stuff that we do. And then yeah, when we have time, we try to like when maybe there hasn't been a wrestling show the previous day, we'll sit down and we'll do some meetings, talk about future ideas, future projects we want to do and stuff like that. So it's a lot of like, let's get our recording done first, and then we do our meetings and everything else, admin the rest of the day. It's the normal workflow. But yeah, it's always very very busy because there's a lot of very creative people that I work with, and a lot of us have a lot of ideas of what we think wrestling content on YouTube can be. And now that we have a very established kind of like we have our own, we have two studio spaces now as well, stuff that's very adaptable. We're very blessed to have a lot of like equipment and things like that, editing and producers and all that stuff. So we can make like proper shows that we want to make about wrestling that we don't think exist in the wrestling space right now.
Yeah.
So we're very fortunate with our channel Parts of Unknown. Like we get to test out these great shows that we're making with. We just brought back Fantasy Booking Warfare. We've got a panel of judges, including like Michael Oku and Nina Samuels and Dave Bradshaw. And it's like, these are really cool names that we get to work with alongside doing these awesome projects. So it's really fun and rewarding when you get to go like, I want to do this idea. And we go, yeah, we can do that. We can do that now. Let's sit down and let's figure this out and see if we can make it happen. So there's almost too much creativity because we have so many ideas that we want to do and not enough time.
What's like the
Yeah,
most
it's intense,
recent
but it's
like
good.
what's the most recent like pitch you've given of like a content idea you thought was really good, but maybe it was just like rejected?
Content that I pitched that I thought was good. Um, let's think. I'll tell you what. Where's my phone? There's probably a note I've got somewhere about
Yeah.
something one time. Let's see. Not there. Not there. These are notes for very different things.
And I feel like it's
Maybe
because
not. I
everyone has like
can't think.
notes full of random, like just random ideas,
It
random notes.
it
Like
a
you
hundred
understand.
percent is. Yeah, it absolutely is. Just I think it might be on an old phone or something. There's one that I think is probably my most famous failure. Well, in fact, there's two most famous failures that I have, which was a very old series that we did on Parts of Unknown a few years ago, back in like lockdown days.
Yeah.
we were trying to come up with new ideas for content now that we couldn't be in the same room and stuff. And there was an idea that I actually took from a tiny little channel called Critical Role, massive media franchise now, and they did a series called Narrative Telephone, which is basically where you a person tells a story and then they send that video clip to someone else, and it's basically like telephone. But a person has to watch that video once, retell their story to camera, send that to somebody else. They then watch, tell that version of the story, blah, blah, blah. So we make it like a wrestling-based, made-up story that someone makes up, pass it to the next person, then see, and then we all get on a call at the end and watch them and see how crazy all the stories get and how far from the truth they were at the start. And, like, no one watched it. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was a nice little thing, but it got, like, not enough use for what we were hoping for that. Which didn't really work.
Sounds like a good idea. No, I can see the.
It's fun. I liked it. It was a weird time for content when people weren't really sure what they wanted with YouTube and content and stuff like that during lockdown stuff. Especially when I feel like the appeal of a lot of our content before that came from like our chemistry and us like bouncing off each other, and that's a lot harder to do when you're remote. But then there was also a series that I wanted to do a little while ago. Not that long ago now I think about it. It's probably like early this year, I want to say, maybe late end last year, which was a series just called Why It Sucks, which is just looking at a wrestling thing that was real bad and then just like dissecting it and just being like, look guys, this is why it sucks, okay? And I did one video which was on Hell in a Cell 2019, which was Seth Rollins and The Fiend. And just kind of breaking down why that whole thing didn't work and why it was real bad. And like it was fine, but it didn't quite click, and we were like, maybe let's just shelve that. So yeah, and maybe I'll come back to it in the future, but probably not. I've got a few other ideas in the pipeline that I'm a bit more optimistic about.
Like,
so
I mean, the easy match there was like Goldberg and Undertaker. I mean, that was like a big
right.
Yeah. It was
that would have been episode 2. Yeah.
For sure. What's like your story of like joining WrestleTalk? Like what led to you actually joining like the channel and now being like one of their feature creators?
So I was just a fan of WrestleTalk. I was just a dude who had no kind of training for any sort of on-screen stuff or anything like that. I'd done my own content creation from like 2014, I want to say. I just made my own YouTube channel, was just making videos about Pokemon and stuff from way back in the day. From like just after I graduated university, I started making some YouTube videos on my own. But then I was just a fan of wrestling YouTube as a whole. I then watched a WrestleTalk video where they asked for people who wanted to write for the website, and I was like, sure, I can write. I know how to write. Let's send it an email. Why not? And then, wrote like a sample article for them. They were like, yeah, you're really good. Do you want to come and write for the website? I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? So I started writing for the site. One thing led to another. I managed to meet Ollie, Luke, and Laurie by at Wrestling Media Con. They needed an extra pair of hands. So they asked, people who organized that asked me to come help out. So I helped out and then got to meet them, which was great. Mentioned in conversation to another website writer that back in the day used to have a YouTube channel and blah 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 whatever, and then early the next year they were looking to launch the second channel in the we've got a family now with 4 channels, but at the time they were launching their second one, which is going to be about video games and movies. And the website writer in question spoke to Ollie and Luke and was like, oh yeah, Pete, he used to have a YouTube channel back in the day. They're like, oh right, okay. And then they got a call of him and just being like, yeah, did you want to like send in an email to Laurie with some clips from your channel, see what they think and all that stuff? So I sent in an email with some clips and they were like, oh, you're really good actually. This is exactly what we're looking for stuff like that. Do you want to come down to London, do a screen test, see how it works? And I was like, yeah, sure. And at the time I was living at the other end of the country, but made it down and did the screen test, and clearly they liked me because I'm still here. So
there you go. Man.
Yeah, it was just very fortuitous, I think. A lot of good timing for a lot of stuff. But yeah, very, very happy that it all worked out.
Yeah, of course. Everything happens for a reason. But you mentioned you like Pokemon. What's your favorite one? What's your favorite like starter? Okay, favorite
starter or favorite Pokemon overall?
Let's do starter and then do all time.
Okay. Favorite starter changes all the time. Okay, this is gonna be a real controversial opinion. All right. But I really like the Chespin line because it's real good. Chespin and Quilladin and the big one that I've now forgotten the name, the Chesnaught. They're all amazing. I love them. They're really cool and they don't get enough love. They're great and I love them. favorite Pokemon of all time is either going to be Aggron because he's huge and he's a beast and I love him and he's awesome and he helped me so much in my Pokemon Emerald playthrough, or Stuffle because it's a tiny little bear that's like a toy bear and he's got a little label on its leg and it's adorable and it sounds incredibly cute. So yeah,
I was
those
a
are
huge
my 2 answers.
Blaziken guy and like Sceptile. Those are my big two always.
Mm-hmm.
I love those
I mean,
guys.
they're both great.
Yeah,
That's not bad choices at all.
they're a bit too popular to pick though. I feel like you definitely picked out some unique like ones. Like you showed you're a real fan. I feel like I picked some mainstream stuff. But I mean, man, you guys still like so much going on as well. Like I want to talk about this new channel. Obviously, that's why we're here, man. Your first video is launching today as his video's going up, his interviews going up. It's called Pete Repeat. So the description of your channel says, "Hi, I'm Pete Quinnell, and I run Pete Repeat. Here I make video essays about things I like and some things I don't like. So what kind of stuff can we expect on this channel?"
Oh, well, I feel like I summarized it pretty well. You can expect video essays about stuff I like, and sometimes about stuff I don't like. Yeah, so my first video is going out today is going to be about video game music. Because I got such a passion for video game music. I love it so much. I listen to it all the time, and I think it's such an incredible like art form that's so underrated in so many circles. It doesn't get the love that it ever deserves from a lot of people, and that is a real shame, I think. So I wanted to kind of shine a spotlight on that. I've got a few other things in the pipeline as well. There's stuff that I adore with all my heart, like Pokemon, for example. I'm definitely going to do stuff about that in the future. Avatar: The Last Airbender is my favorite TV show of all time. Like I could talk about that for days, and I have like 4 or 5 different video ideas that I want to do about that. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff that I got in the pipeline. Just a load of stuff that I feel like I have something to say about. And I've wanted to make like long form video essay content for a really long time. And with WrestleTalk and everything, it's been like, is it ever going to be worth like the time invested? Because when you're doing long form video essays, it takes a lot of time to do the research and the script writing and editing and everything like compounds. The longer it goes, the more money it costs to make and all that stuff. And sometimes it's just not worth that return on investment. Whereas for this is just a personal project that I'm doing in my free time. So this is just like, I don't care how much time I put into it. I just want to make it because I want to make it,
Sure.
So it's something that I've wanted to do for years, and yeah, finally time to get it off the ground and get it running, and I'm super excited for more.
Love it, love it. Right now you're sitting at 789 subscribers. What's like the big subscriber goal? Are you looking for 1,000 real quick, or are you looking for 10,000? What's the number?
I'd be happy with anything. I'm amazed that I have so many subscribers without a video, because I was expecting, like I know I have some sort of presence online, but I was expecting, like maybe 200 at a push before the first video went up, and then when the first video went up, maybe that would tick up a little bit. But this is a crazy response, so I'm hoping that after the first one I could maybe break 1,000. That would be great. And whatever happens after that happens after that. Like I said, I'm not necessarily looking for this to be my next big thing or anything. This is just stuff that I really want to make. I just feel really passionate about making stuff, and these are stuff that I want to make. If it becomes successful and awesome, that's great. If not, then that's fine. I'm just gonna make it because I want to make it. So yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's like the best way to go into YouTube. I feel like a lot of like younger creators have a mentality of like, oh, if I just jump on now, I'll be rich in like 10 months probably. But you're definitely doing the right thing and just like doing things that you're just interested in, you're passionate about. And there's definitely a lapse in that nowadays with like a lot of content creators, because your TikToks and watching your Jake Pauls and your KSIs blow up and make millions of dollars. But like in your opinion, like especially in the wrestling space, like what's a great way for like creators to actually grow? Maybe not so like they're a multi-millionaire, but just like grow in a space and actually have a presence.
I would say the number one thing when you're looking to create is actually be part of like a community, right? Because and it's kind of like tied with like networking in a degree, but for me, like the term networking kind of feels a bit too like formal and like businessy. It's just like being around, watching other people's content, being aware of what's going on in wrestling and supporting other creators and stuff like that. Because when you help build people up, it helps everybody else in that space. Like just being supportive of everybody, being supportive of wrestling as a whole, like just being supportive of everybody and being aware of what everybody else is doing, and making friends with people is genuinely like one of the greatest things, because then it means not only do you make great friends and you're enjoying wrestling more because you're surrounded by friends, but also then means that you can invite then people onto your channel. You know, you could do collaborations with people and stuff like that. It helps literally everybody to just like be nice and be present in a community. And that for me would be my biggest thing.
For sure, for sure. This definitely makes a lot of sense. And as we start to wrap this up, I want to do a segment with you. It's based off a WrestleTalk series, 3 words or less. But this time I want to talk about wrestling companies. I'm going to give you a name of wrestling company. Just tell me your opinion on them in 3 words or less. All right?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Yeah.
let's
All
do it.
right.
I got a couple of them. So first, WWE.
Uh Great when good.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
When it's good, it's
Great.
great.
But when it's
Yeah.
not, and
But when it's not, it's yeah.
yeah, facts, facts. All right, next, AEW.
Consistently good TV.
I agree. That's
That's
solid.
what I'd
That's
say.
solid. I don't know if those arenas showed that though, because I don't know, it'd be a little empty in there. Just saying. But next one, Impact Wrestling.
um, doesn't get love.
Really
I'd
doesn't.
say
Yeah,
doesn't get enough love, man.
yeah.
Like they have been. I think that they still have the stigma of the TNA era, and I don't think that's fair because they've been putting on some great wrestling for a long time.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, Bound for Glory is literally next week, and I just feel like no one's
Hmm.
really talking about it enough, you know. But
Yeah,
hopefully, people start to catch on a little bit quicker. But next one, Ring
yeah.
of Honor.
Oh, um. Oh, this one's really tough.
Yeah,
Uh, this is why we script our 3 count episodes. We're
there
not
you
doing this
go.
in our recordings. um, NXT for TK. Does that count?
Yeah, that does count.
That's
That's fair.
that's a lot of
Yeah,
abbreviations,
no,
but
that's what I
it's
was
just
thinking
Tony
too.
Khan's NXT.
It
That's
really
all
is
it is now.
developmental. There's some good stars
Yeah.
on there, but it's not
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
visible. Yeah,
I mean, in the same way that NXT in years gone by had huge stars on their show, and it was still classed as like developmental, even though those guys are not de-developing at all. But
yeah.
yeah.
I've been to enough AEW shows to know that when Ring of Honor comes on after Collision, it's like, all right, time to go home. Right. It's great show though, but it'd be what it be. We got two
Mm.
more for you. So GCW.
Ooh. Um. Hmm. Dropped momentum suddenly. Like I feel like GCW was like really in the conversation of being like, man, this promotion's like on the up and up, everything's looking great for them, they're doing great stuff. And then that conversation just kind of stopped very suddenly. Not 100% sure when exactly, but like it's just like it just seems to have not been as hot, or is the like the topic of conversation as I've seen as of late.
I would say like right after Cardona dropped the title because Cardona had such
Mm,
a strong run as like Deathmatch King.
yeah.
Ever since that kind of like dipped a little bit, and then obviously that
Mm,
Hammer sign, which like was a success, but also not a huge success for some reason. Like wrestlers over there
mm,
seem to have a different opinion about Hammer sign. So I feel like those two things, like once it kind of ended, that kind of like halted momentum a little bit. But
yeah.
I think it'll pick back up eventually. Just depends on the
I
stars.
hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give you three more because I'm really interested in see what you have to say about these guys.
Okay.
CMLL.
Oh. Um. Uh. AEW's new favorite.
Yeah.
now they're collaborating. Now they're having a good time. Now
For sure.
AEW gets to be best buds with them now.
There you go. There you go. All right, two more. So NWA.
Okay. Not my favorite. I'll say that much. Not my favorite promotion I've ever seen.
I love
They've made
Tyrus.
some choices. I don't know if I agree with them.
I think
Yep.
Tyrus was a great champion, personally.
Mhm.
Actually, the number one
I
champion.
I don't know where your bits start and end. I'll be honest.
I mean, I think it goes like Ric Flair, Tyrus, Harley Race, personally, and then maybe like Dusty, I guess. But that's just me, personally. I mean, like if they get
Come on,
Omos, I feel
you.
like it'd be even better. Like it goes through. But that's just me. That's just me. But we'll go with the last one. I think it's a wrestling promotion everyone knows and loves very much. Wrestling Society X.
Mhm. Uh Hope they're great.
I
Yep.
heard they're doing well.
Yep.
They're doing great. Pete, this has been the interview, man. I mean, thank you so much for your time. Where can they find you on social media? Where can they subscribe to your new channel if they haven't already? Let them know.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, X, whatever. I'm on Twitch, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Cameo. All of those things are just Pete Quinnell on all of those platforms. Yeah, my new channel is Pete Repeat that is launching today with its first video. And obviously I'm part of WrestleTalk, Parts of Unknown, WrestleTalk podcast, No Roll Sparred, all of those things. So yeah, you can find me in a lot of places. Go subscribe and follow to all of them. Why not?
I think they will, man. I mean, honestly, I think it's the accent that gets everyone. Like in America, the accent is so dope, they're gonna subscribe for sure. For sure.
I hope so.
I think
I'll emphasize it a little more if that helps. I should put on even more of an accent for you.
Yo, that was the most Nick Aldis thing I've ever heard in my life. Loved it. Pete, thank you so much for your time, man. My name is Malcolm. This is Muscle Memory, and we're out.
Going up like 1,000. I'ma flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'ma flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze.